Welcome to Conversations with Crosswinds Counseling. I'm your host, Curtis Smith. Every week on this podcast, we talk about all things mental health, sometimes stress or anxiety. Perhaps you're burned out. Well, this is the podcast for you. We sit down with the wonderful counselors at Crosswinds Counseling and have a great conversation every week. Let's dive into this week's episode. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Conversations with Crosswinds Counseling. I'm your host, Curtis Smith. Today on the podcast, one of the fantastic counselors at Crosswinds Counseling, Lynn Albin, is here. Lynn, thank you for being with us.
You're welcome.
We're talking about something really fascinating today, unharnessing the power of the human brain. And Lynn, I've not done a lot of research on this topic, but I know that we only use a small percentage of our brain. The brain is so powerful. So from a therapist standpoint, how do we unleash it? Because there is so much power there.
That is true. And in our field, we want to think in terms of what is jargon, but it is called neuroplasticity. And what that is that the brain can be altered by the power of our efforts to alter it. It takes a long time to kind of get into negative habits, and it's not going to be easy to get out of those negative habits, but many people think they can't. And they're like, okay, well, a leopard can't change his spots. Well, okay, you're talking about two different things here. No, a leopard cannot change his spots, but you know what? Men and women can change their mind. And so that's kind of how I look at it. It is a practice. It is repetition. It is focus. But a lot of people that come in with anxiety and even depression and other issues, you can have an effect on what your brain does. You do not have to be taken hostage by, oh, I can't do this. This is something I have no control over.
So it can be done. It doesn't sound easy or quick.
It's not.
What are some of those first steps? If we're trying to rewire our brain, redo the way we think through life, what are some of the tips? What are some of the pieces of advice that you would give people who recognize, who have the awareness to know, I need to do that. I need to rewire the way my brain works?
Well, if they get that far, congratulations.
Because that's a big part of it, right?
It is
awareness.
huge. The awareness, the acknowledgement. There is something going on, and I need to try to fix it. This is one of the reasons why DIY stuff is so popular, because people are like, what can I do to change something, right? And, mental health, being what it is extremely affected by not only how we grew up, but what our experiences are even as adults. So we learn to respond in certain ways, and then we think thoughts that fall into those certain patterns, and then those patterns become ruts. Simply put.
Yeah.
So to get out of a rut, you have to refocus. You have to plan on what are the better thoughts instead of the negative ones. And we call this reframing or even just changing our mind, right? There's a lot of things we do in therapy to help clients grab that power back, because we don't want you to feel powerless. I can't change you. I can't make you a better person, and I can't fix you. And that's what a lot of people think therapy is. Oh, you're going to fix, and it's like, we're not fixers. We walk along beside you. We help you determine what's going to work for you. And we have to get to know you so that we know those particulars.
How often in therapy is this an issue? Is this something that most clients have to work on? I assume that the answer is going to be yes. Most people who are there for therapy, if they've taken the step to come in for counseling, they probably need, at least to some degree, some reworking of their brain, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I would say probably 99% of the people that come in
Wow.
are truly looking for something that's going to change. Some people just want to come in and vent, and that's okay, but other people really want their life to change. They really want something about them to change. And so they come in looking for help in how to do that because they have no clue.
Do you think most people understand how hard it's going to be, the amount of hard work that they're going to have to put in? Because if they're coming in with this mindset that you're the fixer, you're going to solve all the problems, they may not be aware, no, I'm here to help and we're going to be in this together, and there's some hard work ahead. Do people get that, do you think? Or is that something you have to help them walk along and figure out?
Some people understand that, it took them a lifetime or years to get into the habits and the patterns that they have, and so they know it's not going to be an overnight thing. Other people do say, "Oh, what's the magic pill? What are you going to do to help? What are you going to do to change me?" And so, yeah, there's some re-educating there, kind of, okay, well, let's think about it this way, because it is something that's within you. It developed over time, it developed over your experience, and so you are the one that can change it. Making that connection sometimes can be really hard for people because they just want that magic pill and it's not there.
Yeah. But really, the magic pill is the work, is the long term, because you mentioned neuroplasticity.
Mm-hmm.
That is truly the rewiring of the way the neurons in our
Yes.
brain work together. And so when that happens, it doesn't happen overnight like a magic pill would, but that
Right.
is a long-term solution. This is something that you can not only change in the short term, this is something that can change the rest of your life.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm not saying that medication can't help because
Yeah.
some people think, do I need to take a pill? Well, okay, maybe because of the
Right.
level of what you're going through right now is so overwhelming that your logical brain can't engage and can't do the work that it needs to do. But this medication may just kind of help calm that down and make you more able to focus and make you more able to, do the work. But yes, I mean, it does take work and it can be hard because people are like, I don't want to go through that again. I don't want to feel that pain again. And it's like, I understand, but really, it has so much power over you when you're just hanging on to it and you're not letting it go. Wouldn't you like to have that power back?
Is that something you see with a lot of clients where they're aware enough of the situation to know this has control over me. This has a power over me. I'm really ready to let that go and to get control of my life back.
Some do and some don't.
Yeah.
It's, well, this has changed me and now I'm like this, but they don't acknowledge it as that having power over them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Lynn, as we close out today, any final thoughts that you want to share about the power of the brain, rewiring it, and what can be done in therapy?
I think just removing that stigma that mental health is not a thing is huge.
Yeah.
And some of my clients actually come to me and say, I have come to therapy in spite of how my family feels or thinks. And I'm like, good for you,
Yeah.
because
That's a big hurdle.
it's a huge hurdle. But they're like, I can't ignore it. I can't just, be a big girl like my parents are telling me or my family's telling me. I need help with this. And so I just affirm that for them. And then they get to pass that message along to the people they come in contact with.
Yeah. That's wonderful. That domino effect, that
Totally.
pay it forward mentality
Absolutely.
of getting yourself right so that you can help others and be a better influence in the world. That's It's a beautiful picture.
Yes, it is.
Lynn, thank you so much. If you are out there thinking, gosh, I could benefit from having someone like Lynn help me through some of these things that are controlling me, or I don't like the way my brain is wired right now, and I could use a little work on my brain. Well, good news. Crosswinds Counseling is here for you. You can find Lynn and all of the tremendous counselors at Crosswinds at crosswindscounseling.org. We encourage you to go to the website and check them out. And we thank you for joining us on the podcast today. And Lynn, we thank you as well. Good to see you again.
You're welcome. Thank you.
We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching Conversations with Crosswinds Counseling today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to get more of our podcasts. And you can comment in the section below. Perhaps you could share what you'd like us to discuss in future episodes. We've got new episodes coming out every week. So we'll see you next time on Conversations with Crosswinds Counseling.